season against Tampa Bay and in a divisional round of the playoffs against Seattle. That's what the issue is, that his fumbles are far and few. Unfortunately, they're memorable because they come in crucial points at crucial times in crucial games. And I think after Coach Payton sat down Marcus Murphy for having, some fumbling problems, he has to do the same thing, in this instance to show fairness to all players. Now, he's not going to sit down Drew Brees or Drew throws 2 or 3 interceptions. That's all he's got.
Yeah, right.
But anybody else, in fairness, he has to do that, because otherwise he'll be labeled as having favoritism, because that was a key fumble last week, against, Kansas City, and then this week on Sunday's game against Seattle. But I agree with you, Kyle, that, they're going to need 2 running backs, and I agree 100% with Sharita. Hightower just looks hungry. He looks hungry. He was out of the league for 3 years, and even at the end of last season, he's just, running. He runs real hard. Now, I didn't like how difficult it was for him on the goal line when he could not punch it in from the half-yard line. That was kind of alarming how they struggled against that defensive line, with all those red zone, situations where they had to kick all those field goals. But, you got to go with the hot hand right now. And Mark Ingram will get the ball because the Saints do split their running back. So it's not like he's not going to get played. And he's a better, pass catcher in the Saints office. So, Coach had to set an example. He'll come back, strong and sturdy and get back. Because the Saints need both of them, One is a different run from the other one. But you need Mark Ingram because he's excellent out of the passing game. So he'll be back on the field.
Yeah. I was listening to go ahead, Remy. Go ahead.
My take on it is similar to what you guys say. Mark, I love Mark. But if you're fumbling at key points in the game and there's another guy who's not doing well, you got to play. You got to play it. You got to play the guy who's getting it done. Mark, the last couple, and don't get me wrong, because when he's not fumbling, Mark is getting you 3 or 4 yards every carry. So he's doing well when he's not fumbling. It's just that, as Professor said, once he, when he does fumble, he's fumbling, giving the, ball right when you would have scored, or you're fumbling in an area where the opposition is in scoring position. So it's his timing of his fumbles that are really, really killing us. But I have an interesting thought. I would say that since Hightower is doing so well, we might want to try this off season to see if we can get one of those Dallas Herschel Walker kind of deals from a team that's really, really desperate for a really good quarterback. I'm
gonna just say something. Pierre Thomas ain't with a team.
So
he's not with a team right now.
And Pierre does not have. I said that before, Sharita. I concur. Pierre does not have a whole lot of wear and tear on his body playing
nope.
Sure
don't.
I did not agree with that, getting rid of Pierre. And you see, the screen game has been non-existent since Pierre left.
Oh my God!
Pierre had a lot left in the tank. I agree.
And I'm gonna tell you something now. To see that screen play, even see that play, I'm so tired of seeing that. And seeing it, I'm so tired. I'm like slavery, I'm like slavery in the field. I'm just tired, boss. I'm tired of seeing it. And then to see it run so sloppily, I'm so tired of seeing that play around. I really am.
You tired?
I'm tired. I'm like kick a mule tired. I'm just tired of seeing it. Like especially if you ain't gonna run it and it's not gonna be ran successfully. If you're gonna continually run it to the left and you see it ain't working, well hell, shock them. Try something else. Run to the right. No, you gonna see it go the same way with people that can't run it that successfully. So if that's what you gonna count on, you still gonna count on that? Hell, the person who ran it well and ran it decently, he's available. You can go get him. But if that ain't somebody, if that's not somebody else's calling card, then maybe you need to draw up another play and find something that works works well for them. I don't know what it's going to be for Mark Ingram, but it ain't that.
Yeah, it looks as though Mark, and I know they were going to rely on Travaris Cadet to be the person to help them out in the screen game. Also, they had designs on C.J. Spiller being there to help them out. Well, he's not here. Travaris Cadet hasn't really done much of anything. Get this, guys, rushing the ball throughout these 8 weeks in the NFL. Travaris Cadet has rushed the ball only 2 times for 4 yards.
Ew.
2 times for 4
Yeah,
yards.
I was just looking at those stats on the running game. The running game has not been great. Thank God for this past week, but they're I like Travaris Cadet, but I just don't think TC. He looked better towards the end of last season, but this season we're not getting much of anything from TC this year at all. I mean, I don't get me started on that because I'm still really ticked off about them letting Darren Sproles get out here, and he's still an All-Pro. So that's the evaluation and the personnel moves of Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis that have failed in that area. Because there's still 9 games left. Maybe TC is still, but I'm expecting a little more from Travaris Cadet because I still think those struggles on the goal line are reflective of not having Darren Sproles in your backfield or on the field. Because when you have a Darren Sproles type running back or Reggie Bush, then you are more, your struggles in the red zone are far left, because we don't have that scat back or hybrid running back that can go out there. And I don't know where he's at because, like Sharif said, Pierre's not on the team, and I don't see anybody on the roster right now that's playing. I would like to see them give a chance to Marcus Murphy. I really would. I would like to see what little Marcus Murphy could do in the offense. Give him 1 or 2 plays a game and just see what he could do. He was the top offensive player in preseason. He and Tommy Lee Lewis. So I would like to see them give Marcus Murphy a chance on passing situations or in the air game if they will work with that. Maybe who knows? Maybe they will get towards that in the remaining 9 games.
Okay. And it looks like Tommy Lee is kind of regressing a little bit after making a strong start to the season. But I think Payton, he usually kind of rides and dies with the guys that he's kind of special to, especially since Bill Parcells hyped up Tommy Lee to him so much. I'm not saying anything negative against Tommy Lee, but I do believe that Marcus Murphy did bring a little bit more punch to our return game as well.
I agree.
All right. And let's talk about this, guys. I mean, you hear Tom Brady's return. You hear how many touchdowns he's thrown for and 0 interceptions and all these yards and all of this and all of that. But you've got to say that Drew Brees has to be deserving of a mention when it comes to the MVP. How do you feel about these guys leaving Drew out again?
When the Saints get above 500, they're going to start talking about him because if the Saints as they continue to turn their season around, and I now believe they have an excellent chance to turn their season around after what I've seen over these 3 out of 4 wins and the opportunities, and even the fact that they've been competitive in all 7 of their games. If they just can avoid the mental mistakes, the flags, and the turnovers, because you can tell the defense is beginning, to play solid in terms of point production. You're going to start mentioning Drew because Drew has 2,366 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. And you have Matt Ryan and you have Tom Brady are the main people in contention, as well as, Dak Prescott. So it's going to be contingent on the Saints' record, and that's why you're not hearing Drew in the being mentioned as much because of the Saints having a 3-4 record. So if they can continue with their winning ways and turn their season around, you'll then begin to hear Drew mentioned in the category because he is literally carrying the team. Because if the offense does not play well at all, then we would not even probably have 3 wins.
Okay.
Right. I gotta agree. I mean, we started the show talking about our childhood days, and how much we grew up watching the Saints and things like this. But I remember a quarterback we had who wore number 8, who was wearing out the stat, killing the stat, but we weren't winning. So even though he was putting up MVP type numbers, and even got a Pro Bowl here and there, the thought of even mentioning him for MVP never even came up. So, it's because to me, MVP means, and I'm sure it means the same thing to a lot of people, who was the player that helped this team win most? So if you're not winning, they're not even going to look at your team to see who was on that team who did that. So so I got to agree with Professor. It's like if we turn the season around and start putting some wins up, yeah, they're going to be like, Matt, what? Matt, put him back on ice. The man running the NFC South right now is Drew Brees. Let the breeze blow, and they're going to start talking about him. And as far as Tom Brady goes, you mentioned him. I am convinced he's cheating some kind of way. We just haven't found out yet.
I agree 100% with you, Remy. You don't know what they're doing up there in Foxborough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Let's kind of talk about these. No, we don't need to talk about the Seahawks. Any last thoughts about the Seahawks game before we start talking about what to expect with these 49ers?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Brandon Coleman. What the hell was that? That's all I want to say.
Which you talk about falling 2 yards before getting the first down?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
He and Kobe Fleener, those guys. They did not trump guys. That's all I'm gonna say.
And I don't know what Kobe Fleener was doing. I really don't. You damn 6'10", and you're afraid to get hit.
Yeah, Brandon Coleman. Those guys got to toughen up, because that could have cost the game. I mean, that's what I mean about the errors is why this team is not really 6-1 or at least 5-2, because of the mental errors that are made in terms of toughness. They've got to play smart and with toughness, because those could have been 2 huge mistakes that could have cost the Saints the game that they dominated after the first series of the fumble and the Tommy Lee Lewis, miscue,
Well, look, Remy, I thought Brandon Coleman was afraid to fumble the ball. So he said, hey, Mark got taken out the game. Let me just catch this ball and fall.
And lay down. He said, let me just lay down right here.
Okay, but it's fourth down. Let's say you fumble the ball. They get it right there where you fumbled, right, which is the same place you fell down anyway. Some things, you know what I'm saying? It was fourth down. So even if you do fumble, you fumbled it right there where you would have, where you fell and gave them the possession.
No, it was third. It was third down. Third down.
Yeah, we had to kick it a field goal. That's right.
Yeah.
But still, we needed, man. Look, Brandon Coleman, bro, grow up here.
Well, look, man.
He's getting better.
Yeah, he caught some big balls. That didn't sound right. That didn't sound right just now. But
depends on how he caught him. But anyway.
All right, guys.
Quick interruption. Quick interruption to the show. The Pelicans are about to go 0-5 right now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
After going into overtime. They made it into overtime, and they're about to go 0-5. They scored 4 points in overtime.
Is this the second season in a row they have gone 0-5?
They've gone 0-5.
How many points did AD have?
I don't know, but Buddy Hield had 30 minutes and 15 points. So
well, that's not bad.
That's improvement.
That's a good game. Especially for a rookie.
So what's happening with the team, Remy? Is it that they're not playing defensively all that well, or what's happening?
It looks to me, man, Anthony Davis is playing some outstanding ball. He's had a 50-point game, a 35-point game, and a 45-point game. But he's playing outstanding ball. It's just that he doesn't have the players around him. I'm sure you all remember Michael Jordan when he first started